So, guys, welcome back to part 3 of what we want to see in Classic Plus. Hopefully, it got announced actually by the time this video came out. So we've already gotten through graphics and aesthetics, experience and leveling, character customizations and abilities, content and world expansions, quality of life improvements. You can kind of see on screen what we've kind of like marked out, read through that, or you can watch part 1 and part 2 to see what we talked about before. But moving on to game mechanics and systems. We've already covered some of these things, but we'll try to get through this pretty quickly on our thoughts and our opinions.
Big list.
So we have here restrict the use of world buffs and raids. Personally, I love world buffs and raids.
Yes.
Hands down.
Yeah. I say remove that immediately. Not much else to say. I think world buffs are great, and world buffs also get you out in the world.
Exactly.
Going to grab them like Plague Bloom. Not Plague Bloom. The Peace Bloom. Is it Peace Bloom?
Yep,
Wait,
like I said, it brings the community together.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different world buffs you can get. I agree. I think world buffs should stay in the game.
Yeah, and implementing griefing mitigation strategies is amazing. No griefing, like no dispelling of world buffs. I think that's the most ridiculous
we touched
thing.
on that. Yeah, that's
like
get rid of that.
A guy who's a level 10 dead at Songflower, just waiting for somebody to get Songflower.
Or sitting in Stormwind. Yeah.
Oh, like dispelling Songflower is so. What are you doing with your life? Is this what you look forward to? Just ruining some like guy who just got off work to get Songflower to go raid? You know, like. I think it's kind of ridiculous. Like,
I was thinking
for
Songflower. I forgot the
sweaty chads who want to be world first, and another guild is progressing as quick as them, and they're like, "Oh shit, I know where they're at. I'll just spell them all. Oh, get fucked. Get rid of it."
Is this the griefing? Like, is this point specifically talking about just for world buffs, or just griefing in general? Because I kind of disagree with that because I do like to get on the booty bay boat. Enough said.
It says limit world buffs, right?
You got to define what griefing is. So, like, if you're
what I do is definitely griefing on booty big boat, so I'd get banned immediately.
Griefing is a loose term. Now, you killing people in PvP is not.
Oh, I'm not killing them. I'm sapping them on the boat. That's for 50 seconds plus, and then killing them. They run back, and then they get ported to me, and then I kill them again.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Okay.
So, I mean, sorry, I don't do that. Somebody I know does that.
To sound super toxic, that's not griefing. That's called camping. There's a difference.
Jeez. Okay.
It's camping.
You're camping somebody.
But it's a mechanic of the game. So you're telling me I can pull the raptor or whatever from Ungor Crater and pull it all the way into Tenares and put it on like a low level and kills them.
Terramis all the way to
you know what I mean? Like it's a mechanic of the game. You can do that.
I wouldn't call that griefing though.
That is
pulling. I mean, seeing a giant dragon roll into Stormwind was actually kind of cool.
Now that killed everyone.
Yeah, but doing it on hardcore is a whole nother system. You can't do it on hardcore though. I think look, if you just get rid of the fact that you can dispel world buffs, you've mitigated a shit ton of griefing already.
Yeah, if you don't use Chromie and you die, someone kills you, that's not a grief, and you deserve to lose your world buffs, especially if Chromie is a thing from day one, which I agree with.
There's a part of me that says, like, world buffs should persist through death and last 2 hours, but I also disagree with that also, although I agree with it, because all of a sudden, PvP meta is to get world buffs. Then that shouldn't be a thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every arena, like if arena was in the game, even if it's skirmishes, everybody would be fully world buffed out. If you were going into Warsong Gulch, everybody would be fully world buffed out. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, arenas restrict you to a lot of things.
Well, yeah, sure.
Shops and whatnot already. So
cool. So some griefing mitigation is sorely needed for sure. Now on a PvP server, camping somebody. It's a PvP server. If you hate getting, you don't like work PvP,
join a PvP.
They have solutions for that already implemented. It's called PvE.
Not true.
Introduce dungeon and raid currencies for acquiring gear. We talked about this in the previous episode, but we ended up saying yes overall. Yes to dungeon currencies. Although we had a pretty big current, like it's a lot to get stuff. Undertake a comprehensive class spec rebalance to narrow performance gaps. We talked about that in an earlier episode. That was a big yes. Force max server percentages at 55-45 for Horde and Alliance for balance. Which basically, if you don't understand what this means, is that no server, especially like PvP servers,
PvP only,
can be 99% alliance, 1% horde, or vice versa. Like they force max percentages, so there's always the factions are kind of equal, which I think is a
The
huge.
fact that they even
GTS.
allow that to happen is just
It ruins servers. It ruins them.
Yep.
Eventually kills it because then people are like, even the people that are on the 99% or like at the time they're like 60%. They go, some people go, well, I want to do world PvP. We're still in classic era. It's not TBC or Wrath yet with like flying. So of course I want to do some world PvP. So they'll transfer off to a more balanced server until everybody transfers again, and then everyone's just on PvE servers, even if it says PvP.
It's a transfer game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. People just start transferring around, and it just kind of becomes a
I mean,
nightmare.
we can't stop them from making a new character completely on
Well, yeah, sure.
set server, but
then they have to start over at level 1, so it's a lot harder than spending $25 and immediately having all your gear and everything.
Yeah. Another thing we've talked about before is introducing heroic and mythic dungeon variations and also flex raids for 25 up to 40 players. So this kind of covers, obviously we can talk about the different tiers of dungeons, but also flex raids. So in Wrath, you should know already that you can do 10 mans or 25 mans. This would switch it to where raids in Classic were 25 or 40 man raids. And then on top of that, we can talk about flex rating. So flex rating
is huge.
Is actually a really interesting topic. Some private servers do this where the raid scales to the number of people in the raid. So Ascension does this, yes.
I think they did that? Yes.
Ascension does this. So like, and there's a minimum requirement of people to be met. It's like 25. So, but if you only have 32 of your raiders show up that day, the raid scales to 32 players. But if somebody shows up late and they just join late and it's 33 players, the raid is automatically scaled to 33, all the way up to 40. In Ascension, it's up to 25 because they're doing TBC content. So I found that flex rating was actually pretty sweet because you could never miss. There was never an attendance problem because even if you only had 20 people, it was totally fine.
As long as you had the minimum requirement, then you were good to go. So even if you had a couple people, in case you had a couple people like miss and they didn't tell you, and instead of now trying to find a pug or praying that somebody else is part of your guild that's decently geared can show up on like at the last second. We had a lot of problems towards the end of TBC with attendance and having the
boss.
Yeah, the attendance boss killed our guild at some point. But what would be nice is, like you said, with the flex, we wouldn't have had those issues quite as much.
Yeah, and what do you think about like 25-man content in a Classic?
Yes, I like the 25-man content. 40 is cool because it's actually badass going into Molten Core, BWL, etc. with 40 people. I thought that was great. But again, it comes to the attendance issue where maybe less than half or maybe a little bit more than half of my guild can't make it. Well, I guess tonight we're doing 25.
Right.
It definitely helps out.
I think it should flex. I mean, I think 20. I think
flex is the best way to go. But
right, and I think that there should be I know because loot is also a thing. It's like it's like in Wrath 10-man content. The loot is not as good as the 25-man content. I don't know how to solve that problem with loot. So like I think maybe
flex is interesting. So I'll just bring up a point. Why not? If you have flex in there, what's the threshold? You have to have 30 people show up. Why not just bring 30? And it's less.
Well, because you get less gear.
You have 30.
You get like one less piece of gear per boss.
If it worked that way, then fine. But for me, I would say we can have 40 people or we can have 30 people. You still get the same amount of gear, but we have 30 people. It's less.
No, you'd have to be punished slightly. It couldn't be the same amount of loot drop, from each boss. Because if you did that, then I agree. Because then it's like you have 10 less people you have to worry about giving loot to, which means that's 10. That's 30 people getting geared up way faster than if you brought 40. I need to lose a piece of gear per boss drop.
I think there could potentially be. Yeah, I think because they're currently in like Molten Core, bosses drop 2 to 3 pieces.
Yeah, something like that.
Roughly,
I think the last bosses drop more.
Yeah, I think that to get the full drop, you need 40 people. Anything less, you get like 1 piece less. And also, if we're going
like in intervals of like 5 or something.
Yes.
You have 35 people, you get you only get 3 and then 32 or whatever, etc. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and you could make it where flex rating isn't scaled one player per. Maybe like 35 plus is a 40-man raid. You know, like I don't know. It could flex in multiples, not singles. You know, so like even if you clear it with 35 people, it's still technically a 40-man raid. You know,
it'd be a little challenging, maybe.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be horrible.
Still get the same reward,
right? But you could still do it with, let's say, like 34 people, and it flexes down to the 34. I don't know. But also because we were talking about introducing like raid currencies, maybe if you don't have a full team, you don't get your raid currencies. You know, that's the big disadvantage here. Is like you're encouraged to bring 40 because you get your raid currency. If you don't have 40, you don't get your raid currency, but you still get your loot. You still get the RNG. So that's where like it would be more beneficial to bring the full team.
I don't know if I'd want to rely and lean so heavily. Me specifically, wouldn't want to lean so heavily on the raid tokens. Maybe in like later content, like after Nax and like the next like new raid, maybe
after you actually complete it. Yeah.
Yeah, or if you introduce the tokens, and it's once Blackwing Layer comes out, you get raid tokens for Molten Core as an example.
Which makes sense.
So then the newest raid,
exactly, gives people a chance to catch up and enjoy.
Well, and it gives them an incentive to either do GTKPs, which I'm okay with, mind you, or just pugs, or like I don't know, have the guild go back and do Molten Core because your warrior still needs Thunder Fury. But guess what? Everyone's rewarded because they're getting raid tokens or whatever. So
or maybe
the tokens are tough on how you want to do it.
Because
people might just dip out if you get a certain token from a certain boss, especially if it comes to pugs, that they'll kill the boss and be gone.
Like I said, do not lean. I wouldn't lean heavily on
tough.
On that.
That's a tough one. That's why I like the badge system where you get a badge and then you buy a token at the end. For example, like once you get like 40 badges, you can buy that specific token, opposed to the token system they did in like was it TBC or Wrath? I can't remember. Where each boss would give you a specific token for that specific tier item, whether it's the helmet token or etc.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay, so that's kind of an interesting topic, but there needs to be changes around it.
It's questionable.
Yeah.
I like the flex. I mean, it's a tough.
I like flex. I say no to the 25.
So
keep everything 40.
This next topic I haven't actually heard yet anywhere on the internet. This is just us so far, but I want loot tables on city bosses.
Oh man. PvP wise, that's insane.
That'd be a lot of fun.
People raiding Thrall was so fucking cool.
Again, I think we should talk about. Well, we already did talk about, but I think for the purposes of this episode, we should talk about the point below that real quick. We're just remove dishonorable kills, and then I fully agree with adding loot tables to city bosses.
Yep.
Yeah,
because if you have dishonorable kills and it affects your honor and it affects your rank in the PvP system, that's literally dead on arrival. Nobody will do it.
Correct. And
it's
an MMO. You want the factions are technically at war. Why aren't you at war? Like make it to where the city bosses have loot tables and they drop some pretty cool shit. Maybe it's like a mount, trinkets, not necessarily like raid tier gear, but maybe some weapons. Who knows? Something cool that doesn't necessarily replace raid gear that you have to kill city bosses, but it's definitely worth it.
Give me Thrall's head. Gives us like
a. I want to kill Thrall and then have I want to kill Thrall and then have a pet orc that follows me around everywhere.
That'd be great. That'd be crazy. I went in a different direction on killing like a city boss, and you get like a minor little buff.
Give you a little trophy for your mount, just like Diablo 4. Just have a trophy.
Sure. Oh, that was actually a really cool system. I love that. I actually love that. That was a lot of fun collecting different things.
Yeah, true.
Lootable city. Cool. I don't see a downside. You would have like a horde raid rolling into Stormwind trying to get to the boss.
Yeah, you'd be like hanging out doing some banking or doing some auctions or whatever, and all of a sudden,
but it's always exciting.
It doesn't happen enough anymore.
I know when the raids roll in
for shits and giggles.
Because I get like messages, they're raiding Stormwind and they're only there to kill people. There's nothing to do.
If you're a horde man, it was a beautiful thing. Like you would say one thing in trade chat and everyone would be on it. Alliance, everyone's like, nah.
Nah, it's not a raid. See ya.
Yeah, it was just really funny going from the two different factions. I thought that was a really good thing.
Yeah, but
It's cool.
The
Anyway,
Horde like the Zug people.
yeah, they do, man.
having
Holy shit, let's go.
an incentive for that, and it's like once a week he can be killed for like loot. You can't kill him all the time for loot, but it's so it's not constantly happening, but it's almost like a world boss where like he's on a reset for loot, but you can kill him multiple times, no problem. But like I don't know, I think it just only adds to the dynamic of the community and the game and protecting the city boss.
It's so fucking cool. And you can obviously make the decision because you're PvP flagged or not to hop in there and try and, stop.
Oh, and try to defend. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I would
that's
love
insane.
it. Just imagine rolling
They could
in
even
and just like destroying a tank while the city boss is there.
Imagine the amount of lag on all the streamer servers. Holy moly.
Right. They could even have like a system too, like a dungeon find or whatever for protecting your city or whatever, where it's just like, okay, click this.
Yeah,
and then
maybe
you just all group up.
Maybe there's
That'd be cool.
Like some kind of interesting, like almost like comical buff you get for like protecting the city boss if a raid comes in.
Yeah,
like once you
get something.
Once the raid is engaged, trying to kill this boss, it activates something in the city, and you get like this. It's called City Defender, that increases some kind of stat, or I don't know, something funny.
It gives you a little bit more stam or something like that, like slight. I don't know, whatever you want.
I was just thinking something that would be kind of funny. It would spoil for anybody that hasn't played the game and for the 20 years it's been out, but it would be really funny if the Horde started raiding Stormwind, and Anixia, who's standing right next to
shit.
It would be funny if she just went, "Oh, the Horde are here," and then just turned and started attacking the king. Oh, it'd be so cool. Just turns into Anixia.
And also thinking about like adding quest lines to the game. Imagine that being a part of a quest line where you have to defend.
Yes, that's what I was
That'd
saying.
Be so cool.
And you get some like some kind of cool, there's an item chain that's really big to get. Like the Saving Princess quest line where you actually get a really great ring if you save Princess and BRD. Maybe there's like a cool a mount or something you can get for defending the city.
Ooh, I like the idea of a mount too.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like it. Some sort of trophy, something.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be super sick.
I like it.
And obviously removing dishonorable kills completely. That goes in.
I mean, it could even honestly, like thinking like even small, they could do something that would be kind of cool, like where you get like an hour buff where vendors sell stuff to you at 10% discount or something.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Get a buff
and have it be repeatable. So anytime that you defend, if you decide to do that, then you'd get like an hour long buff where everybody respects you as the hero that you think that you are as the Alliance.
And then the opposing faction, the opposing faction gets like the opposite. Like you're saying, like 10% discount on.
Oh, they get increased because they failed. Yeah, true.
Yeah, exactly. It'll give them incentive, like to actually get in there and defend
and actually
like
try.
Some sort of debuff you get. That'd be cool. That'd be interesting.
It's kind of like in the
I like it, man. It's a PvP game. Let's go.
Eastern Plaguelands, like when you're like defending the towers. There's like a whole quest behind defending the towers in Eastern Plaguelands. And it kind of actually was a lot of fun when PvP was a little more active on the server, defending those towers as like a group. If Horde would roll in, it was fun. I think it only adds to the game.
That's what TBC did. I mean, in Hellfire Peninsula, you had to get the 3 towers, and then you were able.
They had that in Zinger Marsh as well.
You got more. What was the buff they got from that? Increased like XP or something.
Yeah, I think it was the XP
dungeons
or
and shit.
Or something. Yeah,
and those dungeons in that zone, that was awesome. That was such a good move.
Okay.
Good job, Blizzard. You did something good.
Right.
I don't think they. By the way, I don't think they need to add a tower defense system in every single zone. I think they can keep that as is. But it would be cool to have a little tiny buff like that if you defended or killed the opposing faction's city leader, and that could be whether it's Stormwind, Ironforge, Darnassus. I mean, who the hell goes to Darnassus anyway? That could be interesting, but
make it different each like capital city as well.
Yeah, could you? But
absolutely.
Speaking of that kind of stuff, like the looting city bosses, you put some seriously cool loot on the Darnassus boss, and all of a sudden, like maybe
people actually go.
Yeah, people actually go.
It'll only be Horde.
Have to go there to defend it.
It'll only be Horde, but it is what it is.
and maybe, I mean, if you really want to get serious, like if there is a Horde raid that kills the boss, they obviously get to loot the boss. and whatever. But if you defend it, maybe in each city it drops a chest that you can get loot out of. It's either way. So like if you can stop them from killing the boss, you get loot as well. That's the reward every time. Like you can have a raid that defends the boss, and then if you kill the boss, you get loot. So it's one way or the other. So it's a PV.
The logistics behind it would be hard because I feel like there'd be Horde Alliance collusions. Like, oh well, is it whoever tags first, and then they would tag, and then they tag each other, and they just sit there and wait until they. It would be so weird how to like actually figure that out and keep it fair for everybody. But regardless, I think that's a big W.
Yeah,
no matter how you do it, just big dub.
Yeah, there would definitely be collusion with like but at the same time, if there's a server with 10,000 players, there's going to be a lot of people stopping them from, getting that thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't know. I just think that there should be a reward for defending, a reward for killing. One way or another, there should be.
The collusion goes both ways, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. 20K well spent, am I right?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But I just imagine like, you defend the city and like thank you for this, blah, blah, blah. And then like a chest drops and you're able to loot the chest, whether it be gold or something or whatever it is, be kind of cool. Yeah, I just earned 200 gold for defending the city. Like I helped kill this horde raid.
Any random BOE in the game. Congratulations.
Oh God.
It's kind of like the chest in the arena. It's nothing super great, but if you defend the city 10 times, you get this really cool trinket.
Ooh. Yeah, I like that.
Who knows? It can be really cool.
Cool.
All right, moving on. Converting engineering to a secondary profession. I don't know. And that's weird.
Well, that kind of punishes, taking the time and getting engineering. But at the same time, every class really wants engineering at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's why I specifically put that in there. I know we kind of talked about it at one point, and people were kind of like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. I was like, no, we got to put it on the list at least, because I 100% think that every single class, for the most part, especially like if you're doing AQ40, and I mean, who knows with like new content and stuff like that. There are certain bosses that like a lot of people need to have like sappers, aka they need to be engineers, to make it so much easier. So I think just make it a secondary profession and just allow everybody to go engineering, especially on a PvP server. It's just, why not?
Everyone needs to level their profession, whether it's blacksmithing or leatherworking or tailoring. Okay, so they get that max level. Sure, they get their patterns. They make the gear they need. What are they doing after that? They go engineering.
Oh, absolutely.
They've gotten their worth out of that specific profession, and then it's engineering at that point. So again, that kind of brings us back to the topic of like profession progressing, right? Giving more value to that profession. I like the thought. I think it's interesting, but for me, I say engineering has to be its own. It has to be a primary.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. Right, I do agree that
it's a tough one.
But it's such a vital profession for the game that like everybody needs it. They don't need it. You definitely don't need it, but it's great to have. But but engineering, it's not necessarily a moneymaker unless you're selling sappers. That's really the only thing.
Yeah. Or you just be lazy, just like Final Fantasy 14 and RuneScape. You just allow everybody to be every profession, but that'd just be crazy.
That would be absolutely insane.
Yeah, that'd be ridiculous.
But then they have like, BOE specific to that profession. So maybe change that. That might fix it. I don't know.
Oh, you mean so like everybody could use a sapper, whether you're an engineer or not? Is that what you're talking about?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm 100% on board with making it a secondary profession. That's just me.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. Yes and no.
I mean,
all right. Well, what do you think, Max? Yay or nay? Because we need to say yay or nay for the list. I think Alan's kind of on no.
Question mark.
On yes.
Question mark on that one.
That's a big question mark, because like it's almost in
terms of PvP as well.
It changes the fundamentals of the game if that becomes secondary. That changes everything.
It'd be such a weird secondary profession. If you look at cooking, you look at fishing, you look at first aid. I mean, yeah, those are like little quality of life things, but engineering is a game changer.
Now, if they completely overhauled professions like we talked about earlier, this could be possible with profession specializations, where like maybe engineering is a secondary profession, but if you don't specialize in it as like one of your mains, you don't get access to a bunch of recipes that could be beneficial, but you still get access to things like Goblin, Sapper Chart, anything for raiding that would be helpful. You still have access to. But for like
Gotcha.
Fair enough. I like that.
For like PvP and stuff, you don't have access to it you haven't made it a primary. Versus, and they could do this for a lot of things, where you
They
can
could do for like all the professions, really.
technically, yeah. As long as you pick your two primaries, you can make these really, really cool items and do like the enchanting stuff or like the tailoring stuff. But you can still make stuff. I don't know. It's
right. Well, yeah, it'd be like, for example, cooking. Like you can make all the stuff that like allows you to, have that quality of life while you're leveling, but you won't be able to make like knife and soup or those kind of things that give you that additional buff until you actually maybe specialize in that. For example, I don't know.
Yeah, and you can make
Kind
it
of
to where
ballparking on that.
you can make it to where you could specialize in cooking to make some pretty OP stuff.
Some crazy good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's an overhaul. It's just like if you specialized in alchemy, you get to make an infinite mana potion that just recharges like you can in Wrath. Because it's your specialization.
Maybe give us 3 professions. Honestly, I think that'd be really cool too.
Just give you 3.
Oh well, then why not? Okay, I mean, fair enough. There you go. Well. Then engineering would technically be as like it would be considered a primary, but if you had 3, that'd make it right. Everybody would have engineering, and then you just have 2.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So in my opinion, it's the same thing as just making it a secondary profession.
But the system that we were just bringing up.
Yeah, but then if you had 3, you could just be like the farmer. You could be mining, herbalism, and alchemy. And that'd be a great 3 combo.
You can only maybe out of those 3, you can only specialize in 2 or 1. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very complex, but it's an interesting topic. So introduce new spells and abilities such as Mass Dispel for Classic.
Oof.
Mass Resurrection.
Paladin.
Mass Resurrection.
Yeah, of course.
For raids, absolutely.
Yeah, I think this goes
the guild resurrection thing.
Yeah,
insane. Why not?
And you earn it over time. Yeah, I think this is a good thing. Just like taunts, and this is kind of goes into the class balances and stuff. Adjust the debuff limit we talked about before. Allow multiple of the same hot and expand the debuff limit. Yeah, multiple hots I think is a good thing.
Let us play the class that you want to play.
Yeah, like I shouldn't be worried about using renew. You're was it heal stealing? What's it called? Heal sniping. So stupid.
I think part of rebuffing the
a little bit different, but
rebalancing like Shadow Priest and stuff and Affliction Warlocks and whatnot. I think though you should go as far as to say just get rid of the debuff limit completely. Don't have it 32 because with 40 players, that goes quick. 32 goes. I mean, 16 is insane, but 32 would go quick as well. And there'd be people that were still getting screwed. AKA probably a Shadow Priest.
I mean, that's going to change the game. Everyone to the raid now, guys. Warriors are done.
I mean,
no more brown boys. Only warlocks and Shadow Priests.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Or poisons. Ooh, that could be kind of cool. But yeah.
Employ real GMs. I think we're gonna skip this topic. Yeah, obviously they need to employ actual people. Shard legendary consumables for all raid tiers, drawing inspiration from Nax. This is basically
right. I talked about that.
Introducing new legendary items. They kind of isn't that
okay? Hold on.
Or was that like the same type of how you get Thunder Fury and stuff?
That was my interpretation on it exactly. Like getting the splinters for Thunder Fury and etc. I think that was a really good system. I think it gives it eliminates the crazy RNG like with Angry on getting a bonding. It's just it's too hard. It gives you like everyone a more incentive to go to MC because you're slowly progressing to get that legendary.
You're guaranteed to get it over time with a raid team.
Yeah, exactly. Opposed to just getting absolutely dicked by RNGesus. Yeah,
I think
it's a bad
system. RNGesus.
I think it works out if you get it. It doesn't if you don't.
I'm neutral on this subject, so I'm not going to say much.
Yeah. I think it's a good thing to rework that system. Improve inventory.
Getting a bonding, sure, but
anyway. Improving inventory management with bigger stacks, bags up to 30 slots, and more bank slots.
Yes.
I think potion stacking
Quality
with
of life.
5 is a crime against humanity.
Stupid.
True.
Some might retail, like you can stack mana pots up to like 100 or some shit like that. Whatever it is.
Just do 20. I think 20 is fair. Just do 20.
Yep. Sure.
100.
I think inventory management boss is an actual thing, and I'm okay with it being kind of difficult.
In certain games, man. In certain games, like I don't want to sit there in my inventory trying to like sift through this shit. Like whatever. It's not that kind of game.
No, just make it, like I said, just make it 20, which is 4 times the current stack. It's only 5. Make it 20, and I think that solves basically that issue. Obviously, we talked about this earlier. Arrows go from 200 to 1,000. Shards should go up to 5 a stack. Like I think you just multiply everything by 4 or 5, and you're golden.
Shard should be 10. Shard, actually, shard should be 99.
Here we go.
Like when I'm in the world questing and I'm picking up the same item over and over again, it takes up more. My inventory just sucks. Like I got to go back to town, sell it, and it's just annoying. It just.
I think a lot more items should stack. I think potions should be up to 20. You're right. I think bags should go up to 32 slots, not what we have here.
Fuck yeah. Why not?
Obviously, and it's also more things to craft. The higher skill gap for crafting, like 350, 400, that's more bags to create, more things to learn and do. Professional.
I think, hear me out.
There's no reason not to have this.
I think 32, I don't know. Yeah, it probably would be better for it to be specifically just 32 bags and everyone equipped it. I was kind of thinking make it more complicated where it can only go in your bank. But I think that'd be kind of dumb. But I think 32 bag slots should be the maximum, but that should be over a long period of time as you're working on your tailoring, as you're working on, let's say maybe you need a little bit something from like leather working or something to make your bags. It shouldn't be at 300. That should be something like if you're at closer to like 450, 500, whatever they decide to end up doing with new content and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think also like for the bigger bags, you need to be a certain level to get those bags. Like right now at level 60, you can get a 16. You can put a 16 slot bag on a level 1.
Yeah,
I think for like the 32 slot bags, you need to be max level. You can't just give them to low level characters. Just so it's more of an accomplishment to actually get it. And maybe a tailor can make, a bigger bag has like something special they get for themselves.
Oh, like a BOE shit. Yeah, I like it.
A BOE 40 slot bag.
Well, it'd have to be BOP if it's just for themselves because the BOE.
Sorry, BOP. Excuse me. That's what I meant.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, 100%. Just
and then looking. So this is a good change overall. And then looking at the next 2 points, these are redundant points. These are copies. I think that it messed up. So engineering second profession, we were talking about that. Bigger stacks and bags, talked about that. Additional bank slots, yes. Guild banks. I wouldn't say guild banks should be infinite, but they should have a lot more room.
Because I think there should be an easier way to send shit to your bank as well, besides going to a main city. Maybe you can mail stuff to your bank. I don't fucking know. But it kind of sucks at the same time having to go to a major city.
You mean specifically mailed to your bank itself instead of
Yes.
Or have to run back into town.
Like I think it was engineering where you could actually do that. You can.
Hey, well there you go. There's an item that you could get at
right. You can summon like a bot that you can. You could like a repair bot, for example, and then that's your bank.
Summon a butler.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Just have a gold.
I want to bring that earlier, but you guys are flying.
Have a gold sink of 10,000 gold mount where you get a bank. You get a bank vendor.
I think
or like a bank mob or whatever.
The mammoth and Wrath was sick because you could repair on the go. I think
we want more convenience for the game, man. More quality of life, little things like that. That you have to work yourself to get to.
Some things, not everything.
Sure, not everything. Agreed.
There's some things that worked, but like because you have to repair so much. And you can only repair basically in specific areas. It's kind of annoying. There should be a way to
not to mention. Oh, that actually brings up a big point. I don't know. Maybe there's an add-on you can get that actually shows you where the person in that town allows you to repair. Is that an add-on you can get, or is that just something they added to retail?
Yeah.
Or like like you could find minerals, find herbs, or find.
Oh, you could track whoever could repair and stuff.
Yes, you could find your trainer for like the newbies and stuff, man. That'd be.
Yeah,
because like if you don't know that town or city or whatever, like it could be really frustrating.
Yeah,
going through each NPC trying to quality of life again. It's
Ooh.
I get so frustrated, man.
We're talking about that
where can I repair, man?
As a hunter main, I think every single city you walk into,
buy ammo.
Every single city you walk into as a hunter, you should have ammo and arrows available right next to the inn or inside the inn.
100%. Yeah.
There shouldn't be this like Gadget Zan in Daenerys where you have to run all the way to the coast. That's dumb. I'm like, that's so stupid to buy arrows. I'm like, what is this? Just have it in Gadget Zan in the inn. It's so easy.
Yeah. And obviously there is a point to where like they over convenience it so much that like you never even need to leave a city for anything. That's terrible for the game overall. But there are some things that make a lot of sense. Like, you know, what you're talking about. And I think they could include this as they expand on the world with like more flight paths. There's more like tiny little areas where you can get your shit you need. But you still need to go there. That, you know.
What to be able to repair? Oh my God.
Yeah. I actually, because like I like the things like, you know, when you're leveling up like a profession that you kind of have to world jump a little bit to learn stuff, which is actually it's a good thing. You shouldn't be able to go from 0 to 300, you know, tailoring in just one spot and never leave. You just AFK and do it. You should have to have some interaction in the game to level these things up.
You have to do quests like the cooking quest or the fishing quest.
There you go. Yeah.
You have to go to a certain place to
first aid quest.
Train for this specific pattern or buy the specific pattern. Right.
Mm-hmm. And then
and honestly, as they increase, like they go from let's say 300 profession to 350, it should be a new quest for every profession. And then to 400, another quest that takes you out in the world. Or like it doesn't even have to be a quest, but you have to. It's not in the major city. You actually have to go somewhere. Like in TBC or like the pre-patch, I thought it was kind of cool that depending on which leatherworking profession you went or like specialization, you had to go to different places in the world. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
there's like tribal and some other one or whatever, and it was just kind of cool that they were different NPCs.
Yeah.
What do you think about more like class quests, like meaningful class quests?
You mean kind of like the warrior when they get their defensive stance and berserker stance, and then also like
it's a must do. The druid to get their different forms. Like for the mage, there's you have the water quest.
Go to the library and then kill a water boss and then turn it in and you're done. That's
what other quests do you have for the mage? For the warlock,
what do you mean? Like,
you could quest.
Yeah, you could do like things like tables and stuff included wouldn't be a terrible change.
Oh,
you know.
No. Even if you didn't do tables, at level 60,
I think that's a big one.
Can we just make a full stack of water, please, instead of 10? That'd be fantastic.
No, just make a table.
I mean, yeah, sure.
You want to sell water? I mean,
I mean, I know it kind of sucked for mages, but it was kind of fun to like have to interact with them and be like, hey, can you give me a couple stacks? And they'd be like, okay, sure.
Yeah, 10 gold, bitch. Let's go.
Well, that too.
Yeah, I used to sit and store them.
Oh, absolutely. It was a good way. You could port and you could sell food and water, and people.
I made gold just AFKing. It's great.
Oh, absolutely. AFK Allen strikes again.
Mages is so OP, boosting and then just selling water. Yeah, it's great.
It's such a good. Yeah, mage is such a good moneymaker.
It's free gold. I mean,
Yep.
But again, I just think there should be more class-driven quests, meaningful quests.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Like the shaman again, they have quests too, like required quests to get their totems, etc. Maybe you have to do a quest to get blink. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. But so I know that I think that's the final point that we were going to talk about. Did we want to discuss I for some reason I noticed this slipped from the list. Would we want to ever see a level increase in Classic Plus before we end?
No.
So keep it at level 60.
Tired now. Yes.
Okay. I agree with that stuff.
And you're getting into different gear scaling and no.
Yeah, even if they increase it by one level, that's a bunch of other stats. You got an extra talent point. Like it just messes everything up. Your dodge chance goes up. It just messes everything up, and it makes the old content irrelevant.
Yeah, it causes more problems than it solves.
There's no reason to.
Nope. They should do horizontal, not vertical.
I'm telling you guys, I had a lot of fun tonight talking about all of this stuff. It was so cool. I've been so hyped to talk about Classic Plus. I know we were going to do it last night, but I'm just glad that we got to it tonight. Oh my gosh, it was a blast.
There's another point in my head. I remembered it and then I forgot it. I'm trying to remember it. I'm trying to what was it? It was something that was good. I can't remember
Paladins.
Paladins, and they should be deleted.
just more.
Yeah, it should only be healers.
just more paladins. Maybe I'll remember.
Give them more healing gear.
I'll probably have to come back to it in like the next episode or something because it's completely slipped my mind. But we've been here for a while.
Tier 2.5 a healing set.
Yeah. What?
Right?
What is the point? Oh, no, I don't know if this was the point.
Okay.
Damn. I don't remember.
Do it.
I blame Alan. It's his fault.
So
probably in some weird way or format.
There's some ways to improve interactions within guilds and paladins. Yeah, guilds. So so you want a gold sink. You want these different things. So and gold sinks are very healthy in economies in the game. Now it could be abused, but I was thinking about putting in some form of in a guild bank, a guild tax. Something you could actually implement. Now, just hear me out. So there's a way to do a guild tax. So every time, let's say you loot a mob and it's you sell items to a vendor.
Oh, I know you're going with this.
Are we in America? Oh,
yeah.
well.
It's 10. Maybe
it automatically takes like a percentage.
It takes a percentage of your gold and sends it to the guild bank. Now
it forces them.
This is implemented in Turtle WoW. This is actually a thing. And
ain't going no guild then.
But
True.
But you don't have to use it. You can turn it completely off. There's options within the guild. But the guild can turn on repair cost coverage, where like the repair costs are just paid for by the guild.
That's a thing.
That's already a thing. But how do you get money into the guild bank? You have to just give it. It's voluntary, or you could make it mandatory through the system. You don't have to turn it on. Also, guilds are known to, especially our guilds, are known to provide the raid with consumes, provide these things that you would normally have to pay for. And a guild tax would just fix that problem.
I don't hate the idea of a guild tax, but I don't think it should be a thing in the system specifically, because somebody could just say, "Oh, we're never going to have a guild tax," and then turn it on for like 30 seconds and just get like 30 gold, and then turn it off, and no one will notice, and they'll just keep doing that over and over. I think it could be really easily abused, and I just
what my thoughts are on that.
Even if there's a cooldown on it,
I think alt to gold farm.
So
that's the thing. It's like what would stop me from leaving the guild while I'm out farming, and then I would be like, "Oh, sorry guys, I accidentally for the third time today I left the guild." That's just thing.
So to abuse
type /G quit how many times?
So to abuse this system and these private servers, this is what happens. You have when you get on like White Main, you just get like invited randomly to these guilds.
Yep.
So they constantly invite new players to these like leveling guilds, and like the people that are running the organization are just making bank with this system
because they just keep inviting. No one's the wiser because they have no idea.
Exactly, and it is a way to make a lot of gold. But I also find that
slowly.
It is. I mean, obviously the percentage points on low level items.
Griefing, bannable.
But
1 copper per.
But
yeah, exactly.
Copper turns into silver.
I don't know. Maybe there is like a threshold that a guild has to meet and accomplish before these settings can be turned on, so you can't abuse the system. Where like,
this point was brought up by you brought up this point because you're a capitalist. Let's be honest. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
how could you do this?
I'm really, really good at my job. So maybe just like mass resurrection, stuff like that. Your guild goes through a certain clearing things, whatever accomplishments, and you earn the right to do a guild tax, and then the guild can vote on it, like in game, and actually turn those settings on. But as the way I would run it, I wouldn't, because to accomplish, you have to be a good guild that's going to get these privileges. You know what I'm saying? You can't just like invite a bunch of random level ones they're leveling and abuse the system, because you have to earn it as a guild. There's no way you could do it just willy nilly. You know what I'm saying? So like a guild who's in TBC that killed Illidan or whatever as a guild, 98% of the raid was guild members. we got the privilege to turn on the guild tax, and then we say, "Hey guys, we got the guild tax privileges. We're allowed to implement up to like a 1% tax. You can't do anything higher than that or something. There's just no way to do 2%. The game doesn't allow it on all items sold to vendors or something." And then like go straight into turning on automatic repair cost coverage. Then the guild just builds gold over time, and we're buying consumes and just.
I personally think that it should be up to leadership to have like a spreadsheet of like who's donated every other week, once a month, whatever, of how much ever gold everyone agrees on. It shouldn't be in the system itself. I think it's more of a negative. There's too many like cons than there are pros. It just outweighs. So,
and then
I would say no to it actually being something that's implemented in the game itself.
Okay. So another solution that just popped up into my head, this is a completely new system, is guild vendors. So like basically what happens is the guild vendor, I can set what items are on the vendor list and how much they cost. So like the guild can buy stuff from the guild. So if you want to buy mana potions, I just make them 3 gold a piece in the guild vendor. So you just go and we just like,
opposed to giving it to like a.
Well, you're talking about like you actually have to craft said whatever's on the vendor, and then you would put a price, kind of like the auction house.
Yeah. So if I bought 1,000 mana pots from the auction house, I could just put them in the guild bank, and then I put them for sale in the guild vendor. And as a guildie, you can go to the vendor and buy the mana pots, but then the gold goes to the guild bank.
No, I think something like that would be cool, because then like if you're not paying attention at all and your guild master or whatever is trying to screw you over by quadruple charging for a mana pot, and you just go woohoo, then at least it's like, well, thanks for the donation. Like it is what it is.
Obviously, you could see the price.
You'd still go and check the auction house and stuff, sure, but
yeah, you're totally welcome to.
No, I think something like that would be really cool. Yeah. I'd like that because you guys have an agreement. You know how much that you're going to be spending, and it's not like you're. I mean, you could go down the route where it's like, well, you have to buy something on the, like. I think that would be kind of crappy, but it would be cool to have something like that. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I think that's a better solution than just randomly adding a 2% tax, 1% tax, 0.5% tax. I mean, I played New World. Anytime that any tax is changed in favor of I just got an arcane crystal. Holy crap. Anytime that the tax system went in favor of the mayor, or like the guild faction that was owning it, everyone got pissed and people would just leave. And like they would switch towns and stuff, and it was really annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it should just be an agreement amongst each other, and you physically hand them the gold, and then somebody goes on a spreadsheet or something or whatever. I think that's
I like that a lot
solution.
better too.
Yeah, and there could be
I like that a lot better.
Like I don't know, the system would be kind of complex to build, and you don't want to build too complex of a system, but like if you donated gold to the guild bank like we could, it like automatically gives you a discount to the guild.
Discount on the items. Yeah. I was actually just thinking that.
Like, funny. And you could probably just set those thresholds in the system, where you
cool. Donate 1 copper. That's my donation, and I get a 30% discount. Here we go.
At least you get like some sort of award for donating, etc.
Because we were we were selling like destruction potions in TBC to the guildies for like a good price, but we had to manually do it.
Yep.
So I think a guild vendor would be super cool.
I'm okay with a guild vendor where we have to supply everything.
Yeah,
and then we set the prices. I agree with that.
And what could be great is like when we get those specific items to craft items from like raids and stuff, we just have the guild vendor. You need some fiery cores. Yeah, they're 30 gold a piece from the guild. That's how much we sell them to guildies for.
And it might be like 50 gold normally, or 35 gold, or 40 or whatever
on the auction house
server. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like because they've revamped this crafting system, those items are actually really great to buy, and that's another way the guild can make money. Thus, the guild makes money through these crafting systems because guildies are constantly buying the consumes and mats that we earn in raid. We can go back and buy other things to put into the guild bank to sell for the raid to progress. Like mana pots, flasks. Imagine being able to sell Titan's flasks to guildies.
Great.
We'll have fun getting the
again
the
for
Black
me.
Lotus.
It's like it's a matter of putting money back into the guild opposed to going to a rando in the auction house and giving as well, right?
Yeah,
I think that's huge.
And obviously, like I'm personally in favor of guild taxes as a person who's ran guilds and know how much expensive it is to run guilds. Unfortunately, especially when we're trying to help.
Can't argue that.
I don't know. It'd be hard to put in a fair system. That's very. If you're a transparent guild, it's super easy. But if you're a corrupt guild, it's really easy to just steal money from people.
Right? Yeah. Oh no! I promise, I'm charging everybody. You're only charging 6 people.
What's crazy though is
Master takes everything in the bank. See you later, boys.
Yeah.
our TBC guild, like all the gold is still there. You know, I never took it. It's still just chilling, like 25K or whatever it is. It's like just there.
Yeah, I got a little bit of that.
Yeah, it's crazy, and we didn't actually.
Gonna go log on real quick. Here we go.
Yeah, it's nutty, but I think those would be good changes, additions that helped a ton, help guilds, communities. Even like guild housing would be super cool. You know, like a guild house. You know, instead of player housing, guild houses. You know,
that would be really cool.
That's where the guild vendor is. That's where like the guild bank is. That's where like
Do we get to design the place?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, 100%. This is
throw
a weird...
some trophies and like random spots and like the place.
The head of
this is a really weird shout out, but I played a game called Runes of Magic a long time ago. Would not recommend anyone ever touch that game. It's very pay to win and pay to raid and stuff. But anyway, towards the end when I quit, they had like guild castles and stuff, and then there was like guild PvP that you could sign up for. You could sign your guild up for PvP, and it was just a really cool system. And I think that would be really cool. Like you could design, you know, like add furniture and stuff, which would add another profession possibly, or, you know, like whatever. There could be like a furnishing profession that they could add to the game, and you could like furnish out your guild castle, house, whatever it is, cabin, whatever it happens to be. And then like, you know, maybe they could eventually introduce like PvP on that system. But that's a topic for a whole nother.
Yeah, going into like PvP. A guild BG. Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be so much fun, man.
Yeah.
Oh. Just queue up for like a Warsong Gulch, like 10v10, your guild players, man. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, it'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, it'd be like 40v40
I can see the drama already.
Oh, absolutely.
I could see the hate and the love at the same time. No, it'd be too much fun.
Yeah. But
put me on the opposing team with you.
But, there we go. I'm joining my own guild. See ya.
You're getting hunted.
1v30. Here we go.
You know it would happen. Everyone just be fucking with this one guy.
But
whoever it may be.
I think there could be more topics we could cover, but we've been talking about this for a long time. It can go on and on and on. But hey, who knows what they're going to announce if they announce anything?
Yeah, all these episodes are recorded. I don't know when they're going out. I'm assuming at least the first episode will go out like tonight or tomorrow, just before BlizzCon. But this is the night before BlizzCon. All of these episodes were filmed, so we obviously have no idea if Classic Plus is even a thing. And maybe this is a whole complete waste of time, and they're never going to do Classic Plus, and we'll be very sad. And we'll have to wait for Diablo 7 Season 13 before Diablo's good again. Plus. But I hope that we get Classic Plus. I mean, like you said, there's Turtle WoW. There's like private servers, but I like the official a lot more. I like official servers more.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun to actually, like in a future episode, for us to completely go over like Turtle WoW, go over all the different class changes, go over the different...
to play it.
Everything down to like Ascension and what that is, because we've played that before. It can be a blast to...
I will mess around with, maybe not play, but I will mess around with Turtle WoW if Classic Plus is not announced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea. I think we all should hop in there and mess around.
Give it the old college try. But as always, guys,
exactly.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the episode. If you want more, just click the playlist. There'll be a link down below. You can find out all about us. Hop onto the Discord, ask questions, leave comments down below, and catch you guys in the next episode.